The man who played television's most trusted lawyer spent his entire real life hiding behind a biography that simply wasn't true. 2 dead wives, a son who never existed. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what Raymond Burr was protecting and why he never once let the truth slip, even on his deathbed. Think about the first time you watched Perry Mason corner a witness in that courtroom. Your whole family gathered around the television, certain the truth would come out exactly the way it always did. You trusted that voice completely. You had no idea the man behind it was hiding something far more complicated than any case he ever argued. If you remember exactly which chair was yours in the living room when that theme music started, this channel was built for you. Subscribe before we start. Let's go. Number 10. He had already solved 51 cases. Before the show even began, Perry Mason had already solved 51 cases in the pages of Earl Stanley Gardner's novels and made his debut on movie screens and the radio before this television series ever began. It was one of Hollywood's first weekly one-hour series ever filmed specifically for television. Think about your own grandparents possibly already knowing Mason's name from radio dramas or paperback novels years before Raymond Burr ever stepped onto that television set at all. Number 9. He lived in a trailer on the lot for most of the year. The show was so dependent on Burr being in nearly every scene that he had to live on the studio lot in a trailer during filming for most of the year. Picture your own father coming home from work, switching on the television, having no idea the man on screen had effectively moved into the studio itself just to keep the production running on schedule. Stay with us, because keeping this show running every single week meant the cast and crew had to handle real-life crises that almost never made the newspapers at all. Keep going. Number 8. He was fired by CBS. Hours after a police raid. William Talman, who played prosecutor Hamilton Berger, was fired by CBS in March 1960, only hours after he was caught at a party that was raided by police. CBS reinstated him only after author Earl Stanley Gardner personally intervened, together with millions of viewers. Think about your own family writing letters to a network, possibly without even knowing thousands of other families were doing the exact same thing, until a beloved character actually returned to the screen months later. Number 7. 4 episodes were filmed almost entirely without him. When Raymond Burr needed a month off in 1962 for a surgical procedure, the producers didn't simply write him out. They filmed 4 full episodes with guest stars carrying the entire show, including Bette Davis, Michael Rennie, Hugh O'Brian, and Walter Pidgeon, while Burr quietly filmed just a few scenes for each before reporting for surgery. Picture watching one of those episodes as a child, genuinely confused why Bette Davis was suddenly arguing the case, never knowing your favorite lawyer was actually recovering from surgery the entire time. Number 6. They filmed her from her good side, on purpose. The show's producer went to considerable lengths to find roles for aging or ailing performers, including an actress who had become paralyzed on one side, whom they simply filmed from her good side, and a character actor struggling with failing eyesight who was given the recurring role of court clerk for years. Think about your own grandmother possibly recognizing a familiar face in the courtroom audience every week, never realizing the camera angle she was watching had been carefully chosen out of pure kindness. Before we keep going, quick question. How old were you the first time you watched this show? And did you ever try guessing who the real culprit was before Perry revealed it? Drop both answers in the comments. We want to know. Number 5. 2 dead wives. A son who never existed. None of it was true. Raymond Burr fabricated an entire biography for himself involving 2 tragic dead wives and a 10-year-old son who supposedly died of leukemia. None of it was true. His own sister revealed after his death that he had been married only once, briefly, and the marriage was annulled within months, and he never had a son at all. Imagine your own mother reading a magazine article about Burr's tragic personal life, genuinely heartbroken for him, never knowing not a single word of it had actually happened. Number 4. He met the real love of his life on this exact set. Burr had a 33-year relationship with his partner, former actor Robert Benavides, whom he met directly on the set of Perry Mason in 1960. Yet he repeated his invented stories about wives and a dead child so consistently that they were printed as fact even in his New York Times obituary. Think about your own family sitting in front of that television for 9 straight years, completely unaware that the genuine love story of Burr's life was unfolding quietly, right there on the same studio lot. Number 3. They built an orchid empire together. He named one after his co-star. Together, Burr and Benavides built a 1,500 variety orchid business spanning nurseries in Fiji, Hawaii, the Azores, and California. And Burr personally named one new orchid hybrid after his own television co-star, the Barbara Hale orchid. Picture your own mother growing flowers in her backyard, having absolutely no idea one of television's most trusted actors was quietly building an actual international flower business with the man he loved. Number 2. He was dying on set. Almost nobody knew. Raymond Burr was in excruciating pain filming the final Perry Mason episodes in 1993. Almost no one on the set knew he was actually dying of cancer at the time. Never suspecting the man delivering those familiar courtroom lines was quietly fighting for his life behind the scenes. Number 1. He left everything to one man and excluded his own family. Burr was diagnosed with terminal cancer in 1992 and retreated with Benavides to their Sonoma Valley ranch, where he spent his final days giving away his wealth through charities and gifts to friends. When he died, he left his entire estate to Robert Benavides, deliberately excluding every blood relative he had, including his own sister, nieces, and nephews. The man America trusted more than almost any fictional lawyer in television history, the one who always uncovered the truth in the final 5 minutes of every single episode, spent his entire real life building a story about himself that simply wasn't true. 2 wives who never existed. A son nobody ever met because there was no son. And underneath every single one of those careful fabrications, one real, unwavering truth he protected for 33 years, right up until the moment he gave that man everything he had. That is Perry Mason. Tell us in the comments, did you know any of this real history before today? And does it change how you'll watch reruns of this show now? Write both answers below. We want to know. Subscribe and hit the bell. We are here every week. We will see you in the next one.